And a bright good morning to everybody out there. How's it going? Hope everything's going good. I just realized I don't have my hearing aid in. That's okay, I'm going to pause it when I go inside. I think I'm talking loud enough though. You should be able to hear me. So today is another cannabinoid. Another good one. It's called CBC, cannabichromene or cannabichromene. However they pronounce it. I don't know. I heard differing views. It's as different as United Kingdom English and American English. Actually, American isn't really English. We tear apart the English language, and now we're using OMGs and LOLs and ROFLMFAO and emojis. You know, somebody types you a nice long post. It fills the whole screen. You know, when you scroll through this and you read all this and you read all this and you read all this, and then you send them a smiley face with a frown. All that typing, and people answer it with an emoji. One. It's like, come on, I typed all that shit for some, for a reason. I was asking for an opinion, I was looking for something. I'm not looking for a smiley face or a frowny face or whatever. But anyway, cannabichromene is another it surprised me, let's put it that way. It surprised me looking into it, looking into the chemical structure and everything like that. And I also wanted to bring up Rexulti. If you want to look that up and so you have it on hand, so you can look at what this medicine does, what it's for, and what it really does. Okay, they tell you what it does, and then they tell you what might happen. And the list of might happens is very often true, and they do happen. They're not mights, they're almost definites. Okay, there was this acne medication. I can't remember what, Roaccutane, something like that. These preteens and teens, even young adults, trying to cure their acne, committed suicide while trying to get rid of their zits. Is that not one of the most laughable things? It's sad, but it's so hypocritical and so ignorant as to be laughable. Is that they're telling us to ask our doctor for this. Okay, if you've got a social anxiety disorder, SAD, and you take this Rexulti, some of the symptoms are anxiety and suicide. Yes, I'm not stoned. I got this right off the freaking internet. Truth. Rexulti is dangerous. If you have a general anxiety or a social anxiety disorder, cannabis, marijuana, even hemp oil. Hemp oil has been known to help people with anxiety. Safely, non-psychoactively, psychotropic, whatever. Okay, I've smoked my cigarette down to the filter almost. Hate the taste of filter. I'm going to put this on pause while I go inside. I have to put my hearing aids in. Peace out. See you in a minute. Pause. Okay, hello again. And I was just doing something on my phone. I still forgot to put my hearing aid in. Well, I can talk while I do that. I'm just going to use my single one. This is one of my older ones. Still used as a battery. I have to put it in and wait for it to ding 4 or 5 times. 2, 3, 5. And now I can hear myself better. And now I know how loud I'm talking. I hope you heard me outside. So, shared my poem for the day. I'm still exhausted. I don't know why. For 2 whole months I was feeling great. And I'm just taking a downslide here, and I don't know why. I'm still taking everything I've been taking. Haven't stopped my smoking. Still smoking the same strains. I'm still using the Rick Simpson oil, the hemp oil, and the chaga mushroom powder and extra hemp as much as I can get it. I'm taking as much as possible because now I have emphysema. And I want to make sure I clean myself out. Well, cannabichromene or cannabichromene. Found out some wonderful things about it. And while this video is uploading to YouTube, I'm going to share the strain of the day. And I shit you not, the strain of the day is called Purple Monkey Balls. You'll see it before you see this video. Purple Monkey Balls. I found some pictures of it on Pinterest, in flower and then a bud after being harvested. So that will be a very interesting one to show. I didn't even read the strain genetics yet. It says there's something, it's somewhat murky for the genetic heritage. It's an indica dominant mix of Northern California purple, and they're not sure which purple, and an Afghanistan indica, possibly deep chunk. Such names, such wonderful names they give cannabis. All the different strains. But we're getting in-depth into the science of cannabis and cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid receptors. Those little tiny things I've told you are all over our bodies. CB1 receptors with the THC1 receptors right up here in the old noggin. CB2 receptors. CB1 receptors can also be found throughout the body at neural junctions, in your muscle tissue, blood tissue. Your heart muscle has cannabinoid receptors. Every organ in our body have specialized receptors for keeping the body healthy. And cannabis has proven over and over and over again, and the deeper they get into it and the more things they open up, it's just like when they discovered the DNA strand. They opened up Pandora's box and all this shit came out. And they said, oh my God, we've got this thing that takes us 30, 40 years of looking at the entire strand of DNA. Okay? But the advances we've made in, profiling people, DNA. You get your DNA on file. If you watch Criminal Minds and all those episodes, NCIS, CSI, all those, a lot of that's true. Not as true as they portray in the shows, but a lot of the technology is there. And, when we first built the first electron microscope and we were able to see intracellular action inside the cell, we were able to see more. We were in like the universe. We've only explored less than 1%, and all the time, millennia of the human race, millennia, we've been looking at the stars and trying to figure out the universe. We've only been able to map out less than 1% of the entire universe. And there's still millions and millions and billions of things to find in our own little galaxy here. of which our galaxy is this big. We're a tiny dot way down at the bottom corner. Our sun and our whole solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. We are down here, just a super tiny sub-microscopic thing to look at. Okay? And as we discover more of the universe, we're discovering more as we go into the DNA strand. The amino acids that bind the adenine, guanine, cytosine, tyrosine. What makes up the strand is those 4 elements, along with amino acids, at which we need proteins and stuff to keep cellular health. Where am I going with this? Cannabinoids. Did you ever see the Star Wars or Star Trek, the movie, back in the late 70s, early 80s, with the original crew did their first movie. It was a flop. I liked the rest of the middle of the series. I actually liked 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 1 and number 6 and number 7. But those middle Star Trek movies, the very first one, they ran into this big entity that's been floating around the universe collecting energy and knowledge. And it's the Voyager satellite that we had sent out in the 60s. And Star Trek, boom, in the 25th, 26th century, wherever they are, ran into the Voyager craft that had been circling for millennia, for, 1,000 years, and gathering all this energy and power and knowledge. And what do they call humans? Remember, the Voyager took over the one girl in the crew, and they said, Baker says the carbon units are expendable. The carbon units, us, they were describing human beings as basically being made up of carbon. We are. It's a fact. And it is a fact that cannabis is composed of phytocannabinoids, which are what? Hydrocarbons. Hydrogen and carbon, and oxygen. Once you go through the THCA breaks down to THC, delta 8, delta 9, and then THCV, and others. And this just THC breaks down into all these different things. It does different things across our body, not just get us high. And all the different forms of all the cannabinoids, they start off as acids, THCA, CBDA, and they translate over into, once they get into the endocannabinoid system, and they're no longer exogenous, they're endogenous cannabinoids. That's where it becomes THC, CBD, CBN, CBG. And today we're doing CBC, cannabichromene. They are making daily advances with CBD from hemp. So why are we not pulling our heads out of our asses and doing more clinical trials in depth and quickly? If they can put out the Rexulti, I don't know how many years they studied it, probably not very long. And I'll bet the FDA will end up pulling it. Just like I've told you, those hypocrites keep approving these drugs, saying they're safe for us to have, and then they pull them off the market. Hypocrisy. I hate people being hypocritical. Oh, anyway, now, but Rexulti, they're talking hypochondriacs into this, okay? That's what those commercials are for. They're trying to appeal to the inner weakling in the audience. And we all have our own little inner weakling. There's that little something that makes us scared, okay? You can't, not everybody can say they're totally unafraid of everything in the world. There must be fear. It's human nature, okay? If you're going to be, they're basically marketing to that little inner child of us and trying to make us think we're sick. All in the name of making the almighty dollar. And they're not looking into cannabis because it's already a blossomed out field in half of the country. Growing, people that used to get busted for growing from the DEA, now they can't be touched because California law and Oregon and Washington laws say that people can grow. Arizona should be allowed to grow hemp and cannabis here. We have the perfect conditions for it. We're in the cotton belt. And we'd be so much better if we used plant hemp and cannabis here than cotton. And you'll hear in here, CBC has things to do that you don't think about. Everybody credits THC and CBD with everything. I already went over the cannabichromene. No, cannabinol. I did cannabinol. I don't think I have done cannabichromene yet, CBG. I'll know by looking at it. Oh no, wait, I got my little notebook here. This is video 87. So let's see, I did THC, CBD, CBN. This is the fourth in the series of breaking down the individual cannabinoids, and we're doing CBC, cannabichromene. So, it is a phytocannabinoid similar in structure to THC, THCV, CBD, and CBN, among others. Evidence suggests that CBC's role in anti-inflammatory and antiviral effects may also have antifungal properties, and cannabichromene may contribute to overall analgesia effects of medical marijuana. And a March 2010 study showed CBC and CBC and THC together to have very potent antidepressant effects. And it helps in neurogenesis, the rebuilding of cells. Now, we all know that the stuff you get off your lips and you roll it off and it's this white stuff. Those are dead skin cells. Your lips are continually replacing new skin cells. And you know when you peel skin off after you've burned yourself or sunburned yourself, those are old skin cells fluffing off. Why does a white towel turn dark even after you got out of the shower with soap? You got in the shower and you scrubbed everything with soap. Right down to the pore. You loofah'd, you got your little back thing, okay? And you get out of the shower and you clean off with a nice white towel, and it still turned brown. Why? Your body is still slough. Even in the shower, you did not slough off all of the dead skin cells. And those dead skin cells hold on to dirt. So even when you're drying yourself off, you're actually doing a dry clean. You do a wet clean in the shower with soap, and then you're basically dry scrubbing yourself with a towel to dry off. Well, you're also fluffing off skin, and it makes your towel turn colors. That's why you have to bleach your whites, because we're constantly replacing our skin. That's why I'm doing this all the time. It's dry out here, and my lips get chapped and stuff, and I put the stuff on them. I've been using my cannabis salve as well as my lip balm from Dollar Shave Club. They sent me for free. It'll last me. It's already lasted me a year. It's a nice little. It's the Windmaster lip balm from the Dollar Shave Club. I got one person started in the club. I'm telling you, go to that club on Facebook. Dollar Shave Club. Tell them Rick Huffman sent you. Tag me in it. That way I get credit for bringing you in. So let's get back to CBC. Anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antifungal properties. And CBC may contribute to the overall analgesic effects of medical marijuana. So CBC and THC together have more potent antidepressant effects and help in neurogenesis. And it has been known to react mostly in our brains in the ECS receptors, and they interact with the CB1 and CB2 as well as the THC receptors, and possible findings of more receptors still, because they're finding that our bodies take cannabinoids and get healthy in ways that can't be explained by the first CB1 and CB2 and THC receptors. There's more things going on. And like I said, as we get deeper into breaking open the DNA strand, we're learning more and more and more. Just like the longer we look at the universe, we're finally gaining a micro unit of percentage and looking at the night sky. And because there's so much more beautiful looking constellations and pulsars and quasars out there. It's a wonderful universe out there. And we are our own little universe. And we have Mother Nature here on Earth. And we are made to fit these plants. These plants are, we evolved, and these things have been around since before man. So vertebrates before us, four-legged vertebrates, maybe apes, we're probably eating this, cannabis, because it's a vegetable. That's that simple. It is a vegetable. You can eat the leaves in a salad, and you don't get high because you don't release the THC. You need to soak it in oil for a long period of time to release the THC, or apply heat. Heat and oil together will speed up the process, but it takes time. And just eating it won't make you high. So anyway, so in mice, anti-inflammatory activity appears to be modulated by the administration of THC and is independent of the CB2 receptors. And it's got two of the stereoisomers, which are isomeric molecules that have the same molecular formula and sequence of graded atoms. So, and it's not listed in the convention of psychotropic substances. It is non-psychotropic, and its boiling point is 428 degrees Fahrenheit, or 220 Celsius. You can't get that hot, let me tell you. So, but actually smoking it gives you the heat to release it. So, starting out as CBC acid, cannabichromenic acid, and two other acids that combine to form CBGA, cannabichromenic acid, which is a key intermediary for the multiple cannabinoids, and it is cyclized by the enzyme CBCA synthase to give us CBCA. And over time, or when heated, CBCA is decarboxylated, producing the CBC. Decarbing, like applying low heat and air. A 2011 study from the British Journal of Pharmacology found CBD and CBC stimulated descending pathways of antinociception receptors, which are analgesic and pain-killing, and in the family of drugs used for analgesia and pain relief, which acts on the peripheral and central nervous systems. And it was found that it caused analgesia by interacting with several target proteins involved in the nociceptive central control. So, Neurochemistry International studies suggested CBC might stimulate the growth of brain cells by stimulating adult neural stem progenitor cells, NSPCs, adult neural stem progenitor cells. And they said, our studies suggest that CBC raises the viability of NSPCs while inhibiting their differentiation into astroglia cells, nucleal cells, and possibly through the upregulation of adenosine signaling. Lab animal studies have shown to normalize gastrointestinal hypermobility, diarrhea. Think about it. Hypermotility, hypermovement. Gastrointestinal. Things are moving quick. Diarrhea. So without reducing the transit time. And this study notes this because of the potential clinical interest, as the only drugs available are often associated with constipation. Things, that stop you up, well, they stop you up by making it, and things turn from a rock into a solid, from a water to a solid, liquid to a solid, whatever. Because we got it all coming out of our butts, liquid, gas, and solids, okay? Too many liquids makes you uncomfortable. Not enough liquids, you definitely can't get things out. You want a nice mediation of the two. Gas, that's just, it's on its own thing. So, anyway, where was I? Constipation, okay? Rexulti, by the way, constipation is also a side effect of that. So, CBC helps where pharmaceuticals fix one problem, but they add to another problem. A la Rexulti. Okay, you don't have SAD or GAD anymore. You're feeling nice and upbeat. But then you go home and write a suicide note and blow your brains out. Why did you do it? Because the drug. Okay? Stoners don't think suicide. Stoners think, where's the next blunt coming from? And that's not a bad way to be. Some people may say, the anti-weed Nazis are super stoners. Well, those of us that use it for medicine are glad for its side effects, because that makes it a medicine that we can enjoy and does so much more good than any other medicine that the pharmaceutical companies have ever been able to come out with. Even aspirin, the very first, simplest pharmaceutical, which was soon followed by penicillin. Aspirin, very dangerous anticoagulant. People die from it. They have blowouts, they have aneurysms, strokes, heart attacks. Aspirin is freaking dangerous. Cannabis has 20 times the anti-inflammatory properties of aspirin. And it strengthens your blood vessels. It grows new brain tissue. Let me get back down to this here. Benzoyl peroxide and Roaccutane, those were linked to the teen suicides. And it's now, let's see, THC CBD showed promise. No more shit, I can't even read my own writing there. But the U.S. has banned Roaccutane because of its link to the suicides. So anyway, CBC encourages brain growth. Our cells for memory and learning are constantly developing throughout our lives. It never stops. And your brain doesn't get bigger. It stays about the same. You just, as you lose old cells, you get new cells. And memory seems to go with it. That seems to transfer from cell to cell. Except maybe in the case of Alzheimer's. Okay? And when people start getting forgetful. Alzheimer's alone is the neurogenesis is altered, which helps in recovery and growth at any age and any stage of Alzheimer's. CBC shows great promise. Number 2, it's antidepressant and non-psychoactive pain relief. Pain relief without the high. See, THC and CBD normally get credited with that, but new studies are showing the promise of a future for CBC in the antidepressant, non-psychoactive antidepressant market. It's an anti-inflammatory. While little inflammation is a sign of our healthy immune system, it happens. You get bruised, something swells up, it goes away. Okay, that's your temporary inflammation. It's a sign of a healthy immune system. Your immune system went there and swelled up to protect itself. It's your body's defense system, okay? So, while a little inflammation is good, it's a healthy immune system, but the immune system, let me get that off there, it tends to run rampant in conditions in autoimmune diseases, allergies, and even psychiatric conditions such as depression and schizophrenia. So, being the anti-inflammatory and helping in psychiatric conditions like depression and schizophrenia, just imagine how these things do so many good things in so many different areas of our bodies, and it's not just one thing. It's not about getting high. It's about getting healed. And every cannabinoid I go over is nothing but a simple phytocannabinoid hydrocarbon that fits our body like a lock and a key. So, any compound with good anti-inflammatory properties is as good as gold in terms of health benefits, and CBC delivers. That's the way this article put it. And it works equally as well as THC and or CBD. By itself or in any combination of CBC, THC, CBD, THC, CBD, this, that, the shell game. Or which one's the queen? So, CBC delivers. Its anti-inflammatory properties are amplified when combined with THC. In the addition of more cannabinoids, it was successful as either one by themselves. So, 1 plus 1 equals 5 is basically not the real number, but that's generally what it's saying. Is CBC by itself does this, THC by itself does this. You combine them and they do this, 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 and this. Okay, so 1 plus 1 didn't equal 2, it equaled 5. Sound right? Well, that's just the way it looks to me, and that's the way the science reads. Pain fighting. This little cannabinoid may have a huge impact on pain. A 2011 research found CBD and CBC both stimulated the pain-relieving networks in animal models. Even early research from the 80s found that CBC worked with THC for a potent pain-fighting combo. Antibacterial, antifungal. It says apparently the 80s were a heyday for CBC research, showing significant antibacterial properties. CBC even put E. coli and Staphylococcus colonies in their place. We all know E. coli comes out of your butt. It's what grows on bad food. And Staphylococcus, staph infections. Okay, CBC by itself puts them in their place. Adds THC or CBD and it just pretty much wipes shit out. Okay, you need some of that flora in your gut. Well, guess what? Cannabis and the cannabinoid receptors don't interfere with that. They help in that respect. I know, it's like they do several different actions depending on what they're working on, where they're working on it, and what they're working on it with. You got to think about that. That's the way these things interact. And they're showing that 1 plus 1 does equal 3, 4, or 5. And it's awesome. Dun, 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 dun. So, we're a more recent study that even backs up the E. coli and Staphylococcus, showing CBC and other cannabinoids were as effective as vancomycin against MRSA. MRSA. We've heard of that. It's nasty. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it has been shown that 3 out of the 4 cannabinoids video I've shown, 3 of them all fight MRSA. I've only done 4. This is 4. And 3 of the 4 fight MRSA. I don't know, the THC may too. So cannabinoids are fascinating hydrocarbon chemicals, and they're not just powerful medicinal qualities as individual compounds, but they work synergistically to create even more potent effects. It's a statement is every cannabinoid deserves its time in the spotlight. That's what I'm doing. Because every year's research continues to unveil the amazing healing powers of the cannabis plant. Now, getting back to Rexulti. Weight gain, agitation, distress, restlessness, fatigue, constipation, stuffy or runny nose, increased appetite, drowsiness, tremors, dizziness, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. It's supposed to stop that. Do we see the hypocrisy? And the FDA let this slip through. With bright, shining trophy. Ta-da! You're in the spotlight. Rexulti. Yay! Everybody bow to Rexulti. Ah, the great anti-anxiety god that makes you want to eat a gun. It's frickin' stupid. It's retarded. And so hypocritical of our Food and Drug Administration. Okay? They approve these drugs, and they believe whatever Big Pharma tells them. And I'm betting that there's somebody somewhere sitting in a basement office that when they come up with this drug, they tell this person to find every way they can to put forth the information in such a way as that they can sell this product that has so many dangers to it. That's what I think they're doing. They've got to be. Or say, think some way through to get us through the clinical trials. Make up clinical trials. And they can just invite any goddamn thing they want. Okay? I believe that. I believe the pharmaceutical industry are crooks. Why else charge somebody $1,000 a bottle for a bottle of poison, to jab it in your arm, to cure you from cancer, when you can cure yourself from cancer with freaking marijuana safely? Your body requires cannabinoids. It makes its own. And it's got this system everywhere. It promotes neurogenesis everywhere. What's that? Cellular growth. As cells die, new cells grow. Okay? We slough off our skin cells every week. Our entire body sloughs its skin cells once a week. You know, just like a snake. Snakes, when they grow, they get too big for their skin. Their skin, they work their way out of it, and they have new skin. Okay? There's a lot of different other little actions that happen to that, but the reason is that their skin is made for their size. So when they start getting too big and crowded, it makes the skin peel off, because their skin isn't like ours. Our skin doesn't peel off that way, and we'd be pulling big, like you get after a sunburn, you know, you peel off big layers and big pieces of skin. Well, that's just the sun speeding up what usually happens anyway. We replace our skin cells every 7 days. Our surface skin cells every 7 days. And it makes you wonder, why don't we ever look different? Well, we do. We get old. And our cells grow different. Look at me. Okay, you see all this here? This is from living in the desert. When I was only in Arizona for half of my time, 15 years at 30 years, or more. What is it? 48 years. Okay, 48 years I've been here on and off, but mostly here. I forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, but I burn and fluff off skin cells all the time. I think that's where I was going. I got lost. I'll have to watch this to figure out what it is. I said dismiss that. I hate it when I tell things to dismiss and they keep coming back up. Yeah, battery's charged. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, I was putting down Rexulti. Okay. As our bodies continually grow throughout the years, that's where I was. It's like, your skin doesn't bounce back like it used to, okay? And we change over time. We look different than we did younger. I know I do. But we all get, we get jowls, we get turkey neck, some of us, things change. The nose and ears continue to grow, by the way. All your life. Your nose will always get marginally, slightly bigger throughout your life until you die. And it's even been shown that hair, nails, and ears and nose cartilage continues to grow after death. Not in as much way, but it still does. That's why they've dug up corpses and they have long nails. It's, some things continue to work until all cellular energy is burned off, if you know what I mean. Because, our cells, blood is energy. It's moving iron and oxygen through our body, and it's which gives us the energy to live. Keeps the heart going, keeps the blood flowing, keeps the brain oxygenated, and it makes it possible for us to do things. Well, In places like my body has been shot down in flames. Literally. And, wow, it's only 40 minutes. I went through the whole CBC on that one. Where was I, Billy Bluebird? What was I talking about, buddy? I don't know. Anxiety disorders. There. Cannabis cures that. You sit down and smoke a joint with somebody you don't know, if 9 times out of 10, by the time you're done with that joint, you're pretty close to starting to become friends. Okay, because if anybody shares a joint with me, that's a friend. And we shouldn't be fighting the government for it. So that's what my whole thing is about, is bring the attention of the general public and to our politicians, and under this flag which it stands and all that. I make these videos because medicinal marijuana, industrial and medicinal hemp, are basically the only thing left that has got a positive chance of saving this planet and not turning us into, I don't know if you ever seen that one painting. It's like, looks like an old city broken down, and there's just a sea of people. Just people. 1 million, 100. There's like 1 million people in this one painting this guy did. And it had people getting pushed off into the water. As more people gained, we lost cities, and everybody was living this close. And when you find yourself getting pushed close to going off the edge of a cliff or in the water, grab somebody else and throw them. That's what in this painting he showed. That population. Okay? Well, our population has too many ways to get sick. And cannabis, I have found, is like the single best thing that we could do for our bodies to heal, to give us a quality of life. And the prohibition of this is ignorant, beyond ignorance. It's the cloud of ignorance that I've said, the prison of ignorance, and the clouds that just keep everything shrouded. I'm trying to put the lid off. Okay, and I hope my videos get shared. Share these. Tag the president, tag your state legislatures, and say, listen to this. This is the facts. This is research done right off the internet. Real shit. This is the real thing, buddy. I find what I find is the truth. And when I add my opinion, I'll tell you. But everything I wrote down there is fact. Okay? Taken from Wikipedia and several other articles. And like I said, Journal of British Medical Journals and other medical journals is where this information came from. Americans even, okay? And they're saying clinical trials are needed. Well, we need the kind of clinical trials that put drugs like Rexulti on the market. Because I'll bet that was 6 months to a year from discovering it to seeing what it did to people, cataloging the side effects, including suicides, and then asking the FDA for approval. And the FDA gives them the approval. I'm sorry, but if I were in the FDA, I would look at this anxiety drug and say that, I'm sorry, but your side effects counteract the actions that you want in the first place. This drug has a possibility of doing the exact wrong thing you want, and it can push you over the edge. Now, when you're standing on the edge of a cliff, you want somebody that's going to hold you back from falling, not somebody that's going to go, think about it. And I'm out here, I'm trying to hold everybody off from the cliff. Don't go over the edge. CBD, Hemp Saved Me Facebook page, hempsavedme.com. Use hemp oil first. You can get this in any state you want. Mail order. Tracy will mail it to you. Her company mails this out. And this is hemp-derived CBD. And it works. It's worked on me. It's worked on my wife. It's worked on several people I've known. 2 people at least with ovarian cancer. Okay? And Tommy Chong, Rick Simpson, Dennis Hill, biochemist. Those people all made their own cancer cure. The Rick Simpson oil, this little pasty stuff here, okay? The cancer cure. I'm using it as a cancer preventative. I'm actually not going to do any more of it. I got 1 more syringe and get through this month, and then that'll be it. I'm just going to go full hemp oil, smoke more weed, smoke more vapes. So, I'll continue to go over the cannabinoids. I don't have very many left of the main because it's like top. There's only really 10 at the top that really mean and do a lot of stuff. But I can break down and get into the terpenes and flavors and stuff more. Or I can talk about decarbing, but I don't want to talk about growing because I'm not legal. So I don't want anybody to get it in trouble by saying, "Oh, I grow." You know, this is a public group. My videos are public. Don't talk about illegal shit. I don't want you to get in trouble, and I don't want my page to get pulled from Facebook. That's why I'm so adamant about people having to be on my friends list. You got to think about this. This one guy asked me just yesterday. I spent an hour and a half messaging back and forth with this guy, and all the time he's putting one big long text in. And I'm telling him the rules. Little by little, I say, no weed porn. I'm waiting for him to finish typing. I add some more rules. Tell him all these rules. Work and play nice with others, Work and play well with others. That's all I ask, And he's typing and typing and typing. Finally, he sends the text. And it's this long story of how he got in touch. He got actually solicited by a doctor in California. Now, he's in Britain, England, United Kingdom. And this doctor in California said he'd send him weed. I don't think so. I think he got ripped off by a guy pretending to be a doctor. And if not, I'm still not going to do what he asked me. He asked me, he says, I'm joining as many groups as I can so that I can put this doctor to shame. That's a United Kingdom guy asking me to break American laws and commit slander on a possible real physician. Okay? I don't need the liability. That puts liability on me. If he watches this video, if you're watching this video, buddy, I'm sorry, but American laws, you got to think American laws. I cannot get my ass in trouble. I'll lose this page. I'll lose my friends. I'll get kicked off Facebook. I'll lose my doctor and my medication and my medical marijuana. I am not going to risk my ass for anybody. Okay? Don't ask me to. And my group is for the legalization movement. It is not a sounding board for some asshole that may have pissed you off. Put it on your wall, not on the page, not on the group. Simple. So, keep this under an hour, so I can say we're doing an hour on every cannabinoid. I guess I'm going to do purple monkey balls highlights. That's so funny. So many different names, so many different genetics, so many flavors, This is the purple monkey balls, okay? What does it do? The effects are relaxed, happy, euphoric, uplifted, and sleepy. Medical effects: pain. This is a bar chart. Pain, insomnia, stress, lack of appetite, headaches. The negatives: anxious, paranoid, dry mouth. That's it. And it says the genetic heritage of purple monkey balls is somewhat murky, but we do know it is an indica-dominant mix of a Northern California purple, some claim Mendo purps, others Granddaddy purple, and an indica from Afghanistan, believed to be deep chunk. The bulbous purple buds produce a fruity grape aroma that gives way to sweet flavors of pine and berry. The sedating indica effects produce deep relaxation, great for chronic pain, but best saved for the end of the day if you need to remain productive. In other words, it'll put you down. That's a couch lock. That's what a couch lock strain is. So, let's shut this video upload. We have done CBC. Oh, I got the phone right here. What am I doing? I have to keep this. Okay. Cannabichromene. Main page. Get off there. There we go. Cannabichromene. CBG. We're going to love this one. This one has so many different things that you'll love. The CBG is not scheduled by the Convention on Psychotropic, and it is not scheduled at the federal level in the U.S. either. But let's leave that at that. Cannabichromene, or cannabichromene. Cannabichromene sounds right. Make up your own minds. You try to pronounce all these organic things, you get tongue-tied, I swear to God. And I like how I was, they asked one of these actors from one of the TV shows, one of the doctor, ER, yeah, it was from ER. They asked this guy, they go, what about all those medical terms you go? And he says, well, I've learned that this, he says, I've learned how to say it. I haven't learned a thing about it. He says, all I know is that I used it in the context that I was needed to use it in the script. He says, I learned how to pronounce it. That's it. Now me, I've been studying organic chemistry and all kinds of other stuff, so I might slip and go over the top and, and talk about, these receptor antagonists or agonists, isomers, stereoisomers, There's a lot of side links here where I can go, what are stereoisomerisms? Oh, isomeric molecules have the same molecular formula and sequence of bonded atoms, but they differ in the three-dimensional orientation of their atoms in space. This contrasts with structural isomers, which share the same molecular formula, but without the bond connections. See, that's Wikipedia. Wikipedia's got all these little blue links. You touch the blue and it comes up with a little... Touch the blue and it comes up with this. Tells you what stereoisomerism is. It's awesome. I like that. Wikipedia app is very, very good for collecting knowledge. You can go into one thing and it has all these sublinks that tells you all these different things. What's an isomer? What's a stereoisomer? What's MRSA? So you should look at things like this. And find me topics. I need topics. Because I'm going to run out of cannabinoids and I'm going to have to go into the terpenes and more in depth into the ECS. Maybe I'll have to get down into the subcellular level and start talking organic chemistry and DNA talk and shit like that. Because if I don't have anything to talk about, I don't have any more videos. I like to keep it going. Hell, since 87, that gives me, 13 videos. One of my lucky numbers will put me at the top of 100 videos. And we'll have a celebration. Yay! I'll make a cake and blow out a candle. So, CBC. We have done THC, CBD, CBN, and now CBC. All three of those are do everything. Okay? And the fourth one does near everything. And in combinations, A combination of one of these and one of these can give you up to 5 different effects. Well, like I said, 1 plus 1 equals purple. Purple monkey balls or whatever. And that's the way it's got to be. Hemp and cannabis are 2 plants put here by nature, or God if that's your thing, Genesis 1:29. But, the Bible can't explain Cro-Magnon man. Think about that. And don't tell me this guy begat this, begat this, begat this, begat this all through the years, and these people lived into their hundreds. I'm sorry, the average lifespan of the human beings 50,000 years ago was 28. And you died of old age. Okay? We've gained years and decades to our lives over the millennia. And it's a fact. The original man that started walking upright and got off and started using tools had a sloped back head. Everything was primal. He had no forethought. Everything was memory induced. They learned how to do things, and that's all they could do. And as we evolved, our brains changed, and we got a frontal lobe. Okay? And we began basically an industrial revolution, starting with fire. Okay? But we were still grunting at each other and going, and probably using some kind of sign language of sorts to, explain things like water, or tree. Who knows? Who knows? Okay? There's too many things that show that we have evolved into these beings that we are now. And the fact that cannabis has been here all this time before us proves to me that the vertebrates have been eating it all along. Because how do things spread and grow in new areas? You eat the plant here and you crap the seeds out over there. You spread things. That's how things happen. Do you know how you get a palm tree on the deserted islands in the Pacific? Coconuts that fall off the trees can float for years in the water, in the ocean, until they hit a sandy beach on some deserted island in the South Pacific, and grows a palm tree. That's what coconuts do. That's why you always find them in coastal areas the most, because that's where the shells land. They hit land, boom, and they grow on the beaches. It's amazing. Look up palm trees and how they've evolved a lot across the world. Okay, and they all started with one basic genus way back in the day, and it's amazing, because but that's plant botanist, paleobotanism, but just every cannabinoid I'm coming. Locomotor suppression, catalepsy, hypothermia, and analgesic properties. We can't deny these things they're finding, and we cannot continue to prohibit these awesome, wonderful, literally life-saving cannabinoids. We can't just put them aside. We can't. Too many things have shown. Too many people have cured their own cancer. Too many people have gotten a quality of life from seizure disorders. Children with MS and Parkinson's and Dravet's and regular epilepsy, they've all reacted positively and safely with cannabis or hemp. You cannot deny this. And it continues. Every day there's probably a success story for cannabis. But the news won't print it. Why? Because the 1%ers own all the news outlets. So unless you can get some National Public Radio, I don't know if they're scripted or not, but whatever happens, The word has to get out, and the word has got to be legalization for medical, if nothing else. Medical hemp and industrial hemp and medical cannabis. It is the future. And if we don't choose the right future, our children won't have the utopia you're dreaming about. Okay? Some of these politicians think they're going to create a utopian environment. You won't. You can't. Not by making yourself happy over and above the happiness of the people. Okay? So, politicians out there, if this gets shared to you, think. Your constituents, the majority of people, believe in cannabis. Whether they use it or not, they believe in scientific fact. And that's a fact, Jack. Cannabis cures cancers and over 250 other diseases, thousands of different symptoms of syndromes and diseases. And what do? We illegalize it and we let big pharmaceutical flood the TV airwaves with these poisons that they're pushing on hypochondriacs that do worse than the original frickin' drug. The drug does worse than the original disease. One drug for one disease gives you 3 diseases. So you need now 5 drugs for those 3 diseases. And it's a never-ending cycle. My doctor he's not getting kickbacks. He's put me on morphine and weed. And it's worked. And it works great. I have no withdrawal symptoms of morphine. I feel my pain level rise. That's all. I never think of my morphine until my pain level rises. And I say, when did I take my last? Oh shit, it's time. Way past time sometimes. I've gone 3 to 4 hours past my due time. And I'm sitting here in pain going, oh God. And Debbie will say, did you take your pills? And I'm like, oh shit, no, I didn't. Tell me I'm hooked on morphine. You can't prove it. Because I'm not. I do not have the physical. I still have cigarette addiction. Even the whole year I was quit. 2012, 2011. I was quit for a whole year. No, in fact, it was 2012 to 2013. As after I got marijuana, I started smoking cigarettes again because my throat was rough. So menthols make my throat feel better. So I turned to cigarettes again. Well, now we're thinking of talking about maybe getting into the lawsuits because the tobacco company is going to be paying out the ass forever. And I feel that I'm hooked. I'm hooked so bad on cigarettes. And I said, marijuana helps treat all addictions. But my addiction for cigarettes is so strong that I actually had dreams of them during the year I quit. I had dreams of smoking, and I'd wake up going, I want a cigarette. Morphine doesn't do that to me. Cannabis doesn't do that to me. Cigarettes do. So, I don't know if that caused my emphysema, but I'm using the weed to get my emphysema cleared. And if I can get some satisfaction from the big tobacco, I'll take it. Add me to the list. Okay, so we've done CBC, 4 of the top 10 cannabinoids. CBD will be tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Monday. This is Friday. Monday's video will be cannabigerol and cannabigerolic acid, which is its original form in the plant before decarbing in heat. So, let's free hemp industry, let's use hemp medicines, and let's free marijuana from the prison of ignorance. Peace out. Love, truth, and happiness. Free the leaves.